In this video, we'll talk about steering clear of false purpose. If you look around you, you'll see that most people follow the same dream. So much so that they all seem to have the same purpose. The most common example of this is how everyone believes their purpose in life is to earn money. In addition to that, starting a family also accompanies this desire to acquire wealth. This will sound very familiar to most people, only because these are the words of your parents, teachers, and friends. You've always heard people talk about these basic things. They're repeated so often that it seems like these things are the sole purpose of humanity. But do you ever think about what role you had in determining these purposes for yourself? Were you ever consulted in establishing these goals, or are they mere echoes of others telling you what your goals should be? Chances are that somewhere along the line, others did the deciding and determining for you. Your elders, mentors, coaches, and teachers took it upon themselves to decide for you without including you in the decision-making process. So what you thought was a choice was nothing more than suggestions or conditioned messages letting you believe that you were the one making the choices. Yet, at best, they were instructions that you were asked to follow to determine the course of your life. But if you think about it, then something just doesn't add up, as these are purposes imposed on you by others. It can be very easy to believe that a false purpose is your actual purpose in life. You could be influenced by family, colleagues, and society. All these factors sometimes convince you that a certain purpose is your true one. However, in reality, it may not be so at all. Recognizing false purpose. The easiest way to recognize false purpose is that it's not your calling. Most often, it's something that has been imposed upon you by people. It could be a thought, an idea, or a suggestion, but it's not your thought or idea. Many life coaches talk about how finding your purpose isn't related to money or career. It's about finding your true self. This is the self that you've hidden underneath the needs of the people around you. It's quite true that you tend to hide your real purpose underneath people's needs. The society needs you to be a busy 9-to-5 person, so you hide the carefree artist inside you. Your parents need you to get a good degree, so you curb your desire to sing and dance for a living. Your family needs you to be there at all times, so you hide your desire to be a tour guide. It's due to all these reasons that you adopt a false purpose. Don't be fooled by this purpose. It doesn't come from within you. It's being fed to you by others. Suppose you're watching a movie with friends. You want to watch an adventure movie, but they're more inclined towards a comedy. You may resist for a while, but eventually will give in to their constant nagging. In the bigger picture, this is how people around you can manipulate you into believing that false purpose is your calling. Why you need to steer clear of false purpose. Now that you have an idea of what false purpose is, you need to steer clear of it. Your false purpose can destroy you. It can make you do things that you don't enjoy or find meaning in. At some point in life, maybe 10 years from now, you'll regret not only the purpose, but also the time you spent aiming for it. If you run after a false purpose, you realize it sooner or later. In the beginning, it may seem like you are doing things right. Then you look around you and comfort yourself by saying that everyone else is doing the same thing too. Yet, deep inside, you lack both contentment and happiness. Then you have an epiphany, a time when everything comes crashing down. You realize how you are just like others. You think to yourself, what have I done that they haven't? How am I different from them? How is my life more fulfilling than theirs? Did I spend my youth grinding and working to be just like others? If you steer clear of false purpose, only then do you find meaning in your life. To do so, you have to listen to yourself. What is your being saying to you? Don't listen to others around you. Don't listen to the guy telling you to be an engineer just because he knows someone who is successful as one. Your true purpose is something you want. It's something that you have thought for yourself. You're not expected to do it. You just want it. That's the beauty of a true person. You won't have to drag yourself to fulfill this purpose. Instead, you'll just get the energy for it naturally. Your passion will drive you to do your best. Also, when you steer clear of false purpose, you do everything fearlessly. When you're forced into a false purpose, it's often due to fear. The fear of your parents or the fear of being rejected by society. However, when you find your true purpose, you do it with love. There's no fear of letting anyone down. You know you're doing this for yourself. How can you steer clear of false purpose? If you want to steer clear of false purpose, you need to listen to yourself only. Ignore what everyone else has to say. Spend time with yourself and learn about yourself. You'll find what drives you. If you care enough for yourself, you'll find the things that excite you. The most important thing is not to be fearful. Don't fear failure, but be ready to face it. Don't fear rejection, but have the guts to face it. People might tell you that you have disappointed them, but it doesn't matter. You might be wondering, how do I know I am not pursuing a false purpose? The best way to find out is by seeing if what you're doing makes you feel fulfilled. If you're following your true purpose, you'll feel inspired by it every day. You'll find new things in it to love every day. On the other hand, a false purpose will show you its flaws very soon. To steer clear of this flawed purpose, you need to define your purpose. If you have defined your purpose well in advance, you won't have any regrets later. Defining your purpose will give you a clear indication about your next move. This will ensure that you aren't going towards the pursuit of false purpose. What matters is you and your ultimate fulfillment. Don't let anyone tell you that you disappointed them because you didn't go into medicine just like the rest of your family. If making music is your purpose, do that. Antoinette Foy says, "The core of your true self is never lost. Let go of all the pretending." The philosophy behind this concept is to let yourself in. Once you allow that to happen, you won't need to find yourself. Your true self will just appear in front of you. This is the ultimate way to find your true purpose. Just be yourself and do your thing. You're not everyone else around you, so don't even try to be them. In this video, we'll discover the importance of defining your life purpose. Finding your life's purpose can help you reach great heights. Before you find your purpose, you need to define it. It's only logical that you do everything in steps. Whenever you decide to do anything in life, you take a stepwise approach. From performing reactions in a lab to cooking, everything needs to be done in steps. So it's quite logical to define your purpose before you set out to find it. Frederick Buckner once said, "Purpose is the place where your deep gladness meets the world's needs." Before you serve the world, you need to define this place. You can't get to this place until you have defined it first. Gives you direction. Defining your purpose gives you a definite direction. It directs you towards your ultimate goal in life. If you want to achieve something in life, you have to be clear about your purpose. The most successful people will tell you that you need to have a definite purpose to win. Plus, you must also have a strong desire to achieve this purpose. If you have no direction, you'll end up going around in circles. Think of it as a journey. If you're going to go somewhere, not only do you need directions, but you also need a destination to reach. But you'll never reach there if you don't have the directions. Similarly, if you have no definition, you can't get to your purpose. But when you define your purpose, you know exactly what you're aiming for. Defining your purpose is the best way to dig deep in yourself. You need to ask yourself, why are you doing something or why you need to do it? But no one said it would be easy. When you first start the process, you're bound to be confused. There will be so many questions that you can't answer, and you'll face ambiguities about yourself. However, as soon as you define your purpose, all these doubts and confusions go away. You're able to see your goals clearly, and you will know how to reach those goals. People who are successful know what they want and why they want it. They have a sense of direction. Most importantly, they know what success means, and they're aware of why they need to be successful or lead a meaningful life. Once you define your purpose, anything you do will be in consistency with your goals. Every action of yours will get you closer to your aims and purpose. The first step is always to know why. Defining your purpose will help you filter out your actions. You'll be able to prioritize the things that you need to do. In the same way, you'll also learn about the things you need to cut out. 2. Keeps you from getting distracted. Defining your purpose also keeps you from getting distracted. When you're on a quest to find a purpose, you'll be sidetracked by a lot of things. To prevent this from happening, it's important to have a clear sense of where you're going. If you just wake up one day and decide to do something, you won't be very successful. On the contrary, planning and defining will get you wherever you want. If you have a well-defined purpose, you'll actually live life and not just survive. For example, you might believe that your purpose in life is to serve others. Unless you know how you can do it, you can't do it. You might get distracted by people around you. They may tell you that you can do so by being a doctor or a teacher. So if your purpose isn't defined, you get distracted by other people's suggestions, and you set upon a path that's not compatible with your calling. But if you define your purpose, you find the right path. You need to ask yourself important questions. Why you want to serve others? What drives you to do so? Why is it that this is your purpose and not something else? After answering all these questions, you'll have a better sense of your purpose. Just like that, you'll clearly see the path you need to take. When you have defined your purpose, you're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to do new things or unconventional things. This definition will set the principle for your journey. 3, keeps you organized. When your purpose is well defined, you remain organized. Instead of constantly thinking of what you need to do next, you already have a plan set out. But when you do not have a definition in your life, you're always busy thinking. The process of thought is time-consuming, and if you get stuck in this process, you can't hope to go beyond. To define your purpose, you'll have to give time to the thinking process. When you're done with it, you know exactly what needs to be done. You can enlist all the things that you need to do. If you've defined your purpose well, you can make a day-to-day plan. Some people are lucky in this regard as they have those aha moments which enlightens them. Others have to think for a while. Some may even have to look around for inspiration. As soon as you've found your inspiration and your definition, you can start your journey. Think of it as a car ride. To start the ride, you need a car first. Then you need to have a clear idea of where you're going and why you're going there. If you don't know these things, you'll never be able to start. But if your thoughts are well organized, you won't have any doubts or confusion. Nothing will be able to distract you. A. Milne explains this well when he says, organization is something you do before you do something. He further says that you do this so that everything doesn't get mixed up. This makes a lot of sense. If all your thoughts and plans are mixed up, you're in trouble. Define your purpose. Stick to a single plan, and you'll eventually find your purpose. 4, gives you time for experimentation. While you're defining your purpose, it gives you a chance to experiment. This is the time when you can explore yourself. When you're defining yourself, you'll be able to see your real self. If you simply set out to find your purpose, you might find something completely different along the way. It might be something that will completely change your purpose. Then all your previous effort will go to waste. Now consider this. If you've already done all the defining, exploring, and experimenting, you will be more certain. By experimenting, you learn about yourself. You see your passion, your interests, and your talents. When you define your purpose, you may find things that surprise you. Imagine yourself as a video game character. You have to read the instructions first or watch a tutorial video. Without that, you'll be completely lost. Just like that, you need to define your purpose. Look within to find your drive, your reason, and your calling. In this video, we'll learn how to find your purpose and passion. You may have all the prerequisites for happiness, including a job, a happy family, and a big house, but why is it that you don't feel fulfilled? If you constantly feel that something is missing, then the missing piece of the puzzle could be your purpose. At this stage, you need to sit down and reevaluate your life. Only by asking yourself and looking into yourself will you find the answers. No one knows you better than yourself. So it's you and only you who can find your purpose. Your job is to find this purpose and polish it well, because when you accomplish that, your life becomes so much more meaningful. 1, find what excites you. Most of the time, your purpose is what excites you. If your current job doesn't excite you, it's definitely not your passion. Do you have to drag yourself out of bed every day? Are you constantly looking at the clock during work? All of us are born with a talent. We all have something inside us that makes us different and special. You just need to find this thing. Just a little warning, you won't be perfect at it the first time. You can't really expect to be perfect at something, even if it's your talent. You have to learn it, earn it. Even the best artists and musicians have to practice and learn. But then how do you know what your talent is? It's something that comes easy to you. It could be drawing. If a pencil and paper excites you, then drawing might just be your purpose. If it's always been easier for you to draw than write, then look that way. Maybe you could draw straight lines and perfect circles without any tools, and your notes had more doodles than writing on them. Clues like these tell you where your real passion lies, and you shouldn't hesitate to answer that call. Here's something. Have you ever had that feeling when you do something for the first time, but feel like you already know how to do it? That's the feeling you need to look for. Steve Jobs had the best advice in this regard. He said that you have to trust in something in your life. It could be gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. He said that this approach can make a lot of difference in your life. 2, ask yourself why. Why is one of the most powerful questions ever asked. You need to ask yourself why you want to do a certain thing, or why not. It's important to focus on the clarity of purpose. If you know the why behind the things you do, you will find your purpose easily. As an example, consider the whys associated with your job. Maybe you're doing this job because it earns you a fine living. Maybe you're in this career because your parents pressured you, or you could be doing something just because all your friends were. If these reasons justify your whys, then you're not doing what your purpose in life is. When you ask yourself why, the answer should be fulfillment. And that's when you know you're face to face with your purpose. You need to ask yourself, why do I want to draw? And if the voice from inside you tells you that it's going to get meaning and fulfillment, then you're on the right path. This path will take you to your purpose. If the voice inside you tells you you're doing something out of fear or to fit in, then you need to let go immediately, for that is not your purpose. Once you figure out the why, follow Nike's motto. Just do it. Because the more you act, the more things become clearer. So instead of overthinking whether something will work or not, should you try it, or what if you don't make money at it, start taking small steps towards your calling. On the way, there will always be people around you who will have discouraging words for you. They'll tell you your career path is unrealistic and useless, or there are those who will forcefully make you believe that something else is your pursuit. You have to ignore all these voices and listen to yourself instead. Your true passion lies in only the things that you enjoy and love. Don't let others dictate this to you, or allow anyone to tell you that your passion is useless. Since it's something that defines you as a person, you shouldn't care about others' opinions and expectations. Just remember that you're doing it for yourself, because you owe it to yourself. 3, explore your options. Many people also get stuck because they try to find the one thing that they're meant to do. But in doing so, you may waste your time looking for the wrong thing. Actually, find something and then realize it's not for you, or just become disheartened when that something doesn't work out for you. But why limit yourself to this one mentality if you could do so much more? The idea that you have only one thing that's meant for you can limit you from fulfilling your potential. For instance, you may be a life coach who writes, travels, speaks, teaches, mentors, and designs at the same time. You may enjoy every aspect of this job, being equally good at all of them. You may feel equally passionate about being in any of these roles, which makes the whole experience of being a life coach more meaningful. So stop thinking that there's only one singular purpose for you when you could be doing so much more with passion. So don't hesitate to jump in and try new things. Stop trying to resist the unknown, for maybe that's where your calling is hiding. Do follow your passions to make your life more purposeful. When you live a passionate life, it becomes your purpose as well. In fact, you only need to look for a purpose when passion is lacking from your life. This makes you feel disconnected from life. So to fix this void, simply add in more passion. If you need help with that, look at the people who inspire you, for they can help you find your passion. For instance, if an artist or a designer inspires you, their field could be your passion too. Do you find yourself spending all your time on social media pages of fashion bloggers or designers? 4, don't suppress your doubts. Suppressing your doubts is something that can stop you from finding your purpose. By definition, doubt is a feeling you get when you have to do something, but there's more than one course of action to choose from. You're not sure which option you should pick, so you give in to doubt. Although doubt always involves uncertainty about which decision will turn out best, it's not actually a bad thing to experience. If you let your doubts surface and come to terms with them, you're still making progress. But if you keep ignoring them, your life will become a mess. For example, do you have doubts about your current job? Do you feel like you could be much better at something else? Give this thought time. Find what you're better at. Even when you do think you have found a purpose and you have doubt, let that come to the surface too. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with a false purpose. In finding your purpose, you'll have doubts, fears, and ambiguities. Always remember the final point and joy you get once you're there. With this thought in mind, you will definitely discover your purpose. In this video, we'll learn about transitioning to your life purpose. The grind doesn't end once you discover your purpose. When you finally know what gives your life meaning, you are excited, pumped, and passionate. But is that enough? Well, actually, no, it's not. The next step in the process is to transition to your life purpose. This means making changes, perhaps lots of changes. So, how do you transition? Here's how. 1, set your goals. After finding your purpose, you have to set your goals. If there are no goals or aims, your purpose is useless. It's just an ideology that is not being put into action. You have to give life to this purpose. The transition state is a state where you start to give life to your purpose. This is when you need to plan how you're going to show your purpose to others. As Karl Barth once said, though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. In your transition phase, you learn how to make your awesome ending. For example, you've discovered that your purpose is to blog and inspire others. What are you going to inspire others about? Are you going to start a self-help blog? Is your aim to be a fashion inspiration for others? You can't just get a website and wait for things to happen. Instead, you need to start writing. Put on your working pants and get to work. You can't be a successful writer with just an idea in your head. What you need to do is put this idea on paper. Likewise, you can't transition to your life purpose without a vision. If you don't have a vision, there's no way you can succeed. Your vision is what defines your purpose. If you have a well-defined goal and your purpose is clear to you too, the rest of the way becomes easier. Without a goal, you just go around aimlessly. Even the purpose you are supposed to serve, you won't be able to excel at it. Humans are functioned to work with rewards. You tend to work even harder when you know there's a reward involved. This is exactly how you need to transition to your purpose. Tell yourself that getting 10,000 readers on your blog will be your reward if you work hard. This will keep you motivated to transition to your purpose. You might not achieve what you wanted, but it's fine. At least you started the transition process. You'll get there sooner or later. 2, the fear factor. The major reason why most people fail to transition to their purpose is fear. The fear of disappointing yourself and those around you, or the fear of not being good enough. There are these questions hanging like swords over your head. Will my passion make me a living? Am I really as good as I think I am? Will I end up disappointing my family, friends, and myself? However, you shouldn't let the fear of judgment, rejection, or disliking stop you from being your true self. How true is that? Aren't these all the factors that stop you from being who you are? Things will be hard, but you're transitioning to your purpose. Things won't always be easy. There will be times when you may want to go back to your previous miserable, meaningless life or your comfort zone. In these times, you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. If these things were going to be easy, then everyone would be doing it. What's the point of anything if it's unbelievably easy? The fear of change stops you from transition to your purpose. The fear of leaving your old life behind pushes you away from your purpose. There are so many people who have their purpose in front of their eyes, yet they are too scared to hold it or get it. Remind yourself why you took the first step. That will keep you going. It'll be hard to steer clear of people who divert you from the purpose. These are the people who have always been around you. Ignoring them will take a while and some effort. Similarly, the fear of deteriorating relationships stops the transition process. What you need to remember is that anyone who is sincere to you will support you. Once you let go of all your fears, transition becomes really easy. You realize that there's nothing holding you back from achieving your purpose. Your current reality has formed a comfort zone around you. This is exactly what you need to get out of. You can only transition to your purpose once you leave your comfort zone. 3, how to make this transition. This is the big question. Finding your purpose seems like an easier task compared to this. When you're trying to find your purpose, you're just looking into yourself. You're finding what you need to do in life. However, the transition phase requires action. It requires you to do something more than just contemplating. Financials are very important. Part of the reason why most people do not go for their dream job is that their dream job does not earn them enough. If you want to transition to your true purpose, you have to have a financial purpose. Your blog won't start earning for you immediately. So how are you going to eat and live for the time that your passion is not earning for you? This is what you need to plan before your transition to your purpose. You can start in steps. Get a part-time job that runs the house. Now you can spend the rest of the time on making your blog a success, or you can keep your blog running with your current job. But you can always leave your current job once the blog is earning you enough. It will be hard to balance the two. But isn't that what following your purpose is all about? A few extra hours will make you feel more fulfilled than that 9-to-5 work. 4, systems are important. To transition to your life purpose, you need to have a system in place. If blogging is your purpose, you need to have websites and photo editors. You need to get in touch with other people from the field to guide you. Look around and find people like you. Socialize with them and make your own little family. This family supports your purpose and will help you transition to it. Your blog isn't sufficient. Head over to social media and increase your presence there too. Get in touch with people and let them know about you. Part of the transition process is to make others aware of your purpose. Isn't this what musicians, painters, authors, scientists, and artists do? They don't hide away their purpose. They bring it out to the world. Letting the world experience your art, music, inventions, and words is the best way to transition. Slowly, yet eventually, you will get there. The transition process is just as fulfilling as the final result. Give it your undivided time and attention. Living purposefully is one of the most, if not the most, enjoyable experiences you can have in life. You know that when you live with a purpose, life just flows. On the way, you're able to carve your own way as you pass through the ups and downs, with your purpose always holding you strong. This is the life you want to live. This is the purpose you want to follow, and these are the benefits you want to enjoy. A purposeful life is a useful life, and the best way to lead a good life.